Alright, UFC. Henry Cejudo versus Song Yudong just took place, and I'm here to give you my breakdown of what happened during the card, along with my picks and how I did during the card. It was kind of a tricky card, not gonna lie, but, we stay positive here, baby. That's what I'm talking about, you know? So far, only one negative card this year. Ooh, we plan on sweeping the rest, let me tell you. But, yeah, just quick disclaimer, I don't bet on fights normally. I'm not your financial advisor, as the next lightweight GOAT will say in the rematch, not Moicano, but yeah, I don't make bets. I just basically make picks and predictions off passion. I do it every week. If you're looking for MMA content on the weekly, hey, feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell at the bottom. I also do gaming content, you know? I'm becoming a little bit of a YouTuber these days. Anyways, yeah, let's get into the card. I thought it was a really good card up until the main event. We'll get to it. Yeah, man, it was a pretty sick card overall. I'll probably speed run most of this because a lot of it was very short, and I got shit to do tonight before I go to work tomorrow. Yep, I am the working class, just like all the homies know. Anyways, Modestas Bukkake versus Rafael Guerrera. So, kind of fumbled the bag here, guys, not gonna lie. I was hoping Rafael would be a little hungrier going into this fight. I thought he was going to be a little better than his debut because he literally just sat there and quit in front of Ibo Aslan. He did not improve, and he's not better. Now, to be fair, Modestas Bukkake here is pretty dog shit, I'm not going to lie. Rafael kept on doing the same combo. It was literally like a 1-2 over the top. He landed every time, and I think at one point he even wombled Bukkake here. But, yeah, I mean, Rafael got put out standing. I mean, it was a pretty sick KO by Modestas. I respect the KO. Respect the man willing to go to war. Yeah, cut Rafael. He's dog shit. He's not a fighter. I was wrong about my pick. I took a risk. I even mentioned I took a risk. You know, that's the reason why I don't bet on fights. Because I do think Modestas is kind of dog shit, and he is kind of dog shit. But sick KO. That's gonna look great when you have kids and you're like, yeah, I was in the best fighting organization of all time. Yeah, remember me, kids? That's what I did to that man. I knocked him out cold standing, you know? It's a sick story to tell. Happy for Modestas, but, wow. Rafael Guerrera. Cut him. Like 0-2, and his performances literally look like he doesn't belong anywhere, at any fighting organization. Get him out! Anyways, moving on, we have Ruziboev versus Eric Mekonico. Yeah, Ruziboev got it done. Round 1, actually I have my notes here. Round 1, oh yeah, it was boring as fuck, that's what it was. It was absolutely, shit. Round 1 was literally just them looking at range, and then in the final 2 minutes, I think, I believe Ruziboev was holding Mekonico against the cage, but it might have been the other way around. I think they reversed once or twice, but it was just boring and dog shit. Very beginning of round 2, though, Nursultan Ruziboev went in. He was just snappier than Mekonico. Mekonico didn't look that bad, but, he got hit by, like, it was one of those weird temple shots that, like, I don't think Mekonico, like, I don't think Eric was actually out, right? But I just think he got hit, and his balance was fucked, and he had no way to stabilize, and, yeah, he fumbled to the ground, and as he was getting back up, he tried to continue the fight. Couldn't really continue it. He just, his brain, like, his equilibrium was just fucked up. He couldn't continue it, you know? And I think you could see that, like, immediately after the stoppage. It's like, he wasn't out. It's just he wasn't gonna be able to come back, if that makes sense. So, yeah, Ruziboev got it done. Could have got away with cheating. Didn't this time. So, yeah, I mean, good for Ruziboev. I don't care what we do with this guy, to be honest with you. He does kind of look like shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Ruziboev misses a lot, you know? Like, what are the stats saying here? 24 out of 46. Yeah, like those 46, let me tell you, man, what would be the math on that? 22 shots missed. Yeah, those 22 shots missed definitely felt like it, let me tell you. He's not very accurate, and he's very sloppy, you know? He kind of relies on people to walk into his strikes, or for you to stand there, you know? And Eric kind of had the middleweight looking Khalil Roundtree stance. And as we all know, Khalil Roundtree's best win is fucking Anthony Smith. So, yeah, Eric just couldn't really get anything going, and he got stumbled. It is what it is. Moving on, we have Nikolay Vernetikov versus Austin Vanderford. The funny thing about this fight is that I did not pick it because it was not in my prediction video, and I did not care to pick it because it was two people. This guy literally got signed like 48 hours before the fight started, knew nothing about him, don't give a fuck about this fight at all. I believe Nikolay was actually the heavy favorite. And everyone thought Austin was pretty much going to lose. Like, yeah, I watch We Want Picks. Yeah, I watch MMA Guru. And yeah, I watch Lucas Galazi, that fucking part-time Peaches and Cream looking motherfucker. But I will say, Austin looked really good out there. Nikolay looked like shit. And once Nikolay lost, he got up and had a hissy fit about it and pushed Austin here. What the fuck are we doing, bro? You lost like a dumbass. You got clowned on. When you're on bottom position in the first round, he's laying elbows on you, he's landing fists over the top, and you're just hugging him. Figure out how to get up. Figure out how to threaten something from bottom position. You dumbass. Like, what do you expect? Fucking idiots, man. And then round 2 does the same thing. He just covers up with a guard, and then he's getting rained on. Just constant fucking... I guess shovel hooks, I guess is the correct term. Just shovel hooks over and over for like 20 seconds without Nikolay throwing a single strike. What do you expect? The ref's not going to sit there and watch you just get beat on for 3 minutes in one position because you don't know what you're doing. That's not how the fight works. You know? Fucking idiots, man. But yeah, he lost pretty convincingly. I don't think it was an early stoppage or anything. It's not like Nikolay was out on his feet. It's just he was a dumbass. He wasn't fighting back. He wasn't doing shit. I'm glad I didn't predict the fight. Let me tell you that. Moving on. Ricky Simon versus Javid Bashrat. Now, this is another one I got wrong. Turns out, if you have a brother in the UFC, you are destined to fail. You will never make it at the top, you know? Kamaru Usman is the only exception. He made it to the top before Mo Usman came into the picture, you know? Javid Bashrat, he was looking okay, and then he just got clipped. I literally came back from a shower, and I was watching the highlight of Javid getting fucking clipped. That was a sick KO by Ricky. I don't think anyone was really predicting Ricky to get a KO here. I think a lot of people were kind of thinking Ricky... I believe Ricky was Jacob's Lock of the Week. Great Lock of the Week. I doubted it. Hey, hand on the Bible, even though I'm not Christian. I doubted it. Yeah, I didn't think Ricky Simon could get it done. I didn't think he was that strong. I know he entered a prime, but I couldn't see it, man. He kind of fell off, and he hasn't really found a way to get back on the saddle. Found a way to get back on the saddle. He knocked out Javid Bashrat. Great win. Man, how bad is Ayman Zahabi, guys? The #1 ranked Canadian prospect right now, guys. You know, it was an off night. What can I tell ya? Our country will come back. Hey, GSP, guys, you know? Think about it like that. GSP, he's arguably the GOAT, right, guys? Fuck, man. Stop making my country look like shit, you Bashrat little bitch. Anyways, Mansour Abdul Malik versus Nick Klein. Mansour got it done after a rocky first round. He got spinning elbow. Nick Klein had a little bit of Kelvin Gastelum fever, a little bit of 2018 fucking injected into his veins or something, and he decided to shoot a takedown and was holding Mansour against the fence for a little bit. He clearly won round 1. Round 2, Mansour was just a little bit more snappy, and Nick Klein couldn't really find a way to deal with it. You know, Mansour was definitely like finding his way in round 2. It's great to see that he's not gonna just quit on himself if he gets wobbled. It was a really weird situation. Like, he got wobbled, but it was one of those like, did he get wobbled or was he kind of faking it? You know, it almost looked fake by how weird the wobbling was. But you know, hey, Mansour got it done. I got the pick right. He was a -1,000 favorite. I'm telling you, man, whenever a favorite jumps like past 1,000, they never look like it. You know what I mean? Like, you'll never see that with like Bo Nickel, Paul Craig. You know, like they're not -1,000. You know, like there's definitely, if you ran these fights 10 times, Nick Klein might be able to get a first round finish for maybe even 5 of those times. You know, but that's what we love about MMA. Anyways, moving on, we have Andre Fili against Melquesel Costa. I picked Andre Philly. Costa here, I think, was also another optional pick that Jacob was considering for lock of the week. Completely original idea from him. He was the first guy I ever saw do a lock of the week idea, and now I'm seeing a lot of people copy it. You know, so shout out to the Freckled Salamander, the true goat of lock of the weeks. And yeah, man, it was a good pick by fucking Jacob from We Want Picks, you know? I thought Andre Philly would have been faster on the feet. He kind of was at moments, but in times Costa was kind of faster, making the pressure, doing more damage than Andre Philly, which is really weird to see. And Andre Philly shot a takedown and got guillotined after securing the takedown. Yeah, so I'm not picking Andre Philly in any more fights. That is like the number one, I will not pick you anymore. If you shoot a takedown and you get guillotined, especially if you're losing the fight, yeah, wrestling doesn't work here, lil bro. Alright, figure out some BJJ shit. I thought he was like slick on the ground too, Andre Philly. What are we doing, man? Like, fuck, man. You're having a kid too. God damn, that's embarrassing. Holy shit, man. God damn, a kid coming up and you get submitted from your own take? Like, brother. Brother. What's that? You know, like, Jesus Christ. Anyways, Jan Kutalaba versus Ibo Aslan. Also got this one wrong. Pretty happy I got it wrong. Jan Kutalaba is dog shit. He's been around for 9 years, according to him. Now, I've only been watching UFC for 3 years, if you don't know. But I am addicted to this shit. I watch every single event since I started 3 years ago. But Jan Kutalaba is still shit. His striking, no technique. He's very reactionary, and what I mean by that, he has zero plan. You know, he's not like, okay, I'm going to go in here and TKO. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to implement this game plan. He's very like, oh, he did that thing, I'm going to do this thing. You know, oh, he landed that, okay, I'm going to shoot my overhand right now, you know? He's very, very reactionary, and Ibo Aslan, he just made a mistake on the ground, and to be fair to Ibo, I don't think anyone was expecting Jan Kutalaba to go for a fucking head and arm choke, I think is what it's called, or a Von Flu, one of the two. Is it a Von Flu when the shoulder is on it? I think it was a head and arm. Head, arm, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And yeah, he just instantly tapped Ibo Aslan, you know, El Turkey fans, I guess. Sucks for the Turkey fans. I was hoping Ibo Aslan was going to do something. I mean, he looked pretty good. He was landing good. He got landed on pretty good. But, yeah. I mean, Jan Kutalaba, fucking submission artist now, apparently. He's always, like... He's got the fundamentals of, like, a UFC unranked fighter. But he has no technique at all. And we'll get into someone who shares a similar fate, you know? We'll definitely get into it, you know? Anyways, main card time. Alonzo Metafield versus Julius Walker. I went with Julius Walker. I thought, you know, this, what's that big heavyweight that just got signed that beat, a bum recently? Fuck, what was his name? He's like 6'7". Ah, fuck, man. I can't remember this guy's name. Now it's gonna piss me off. What card was it? It wasn't, well, I think it was this card. Early prelims. What was his name? Angelio Chopli, you know. I fucking forget that bum is still a fucking fighter. Deportia. Was he really on the main card? No, he wasn't. What fight? Ah, Taliesin Teixeira. That's what I'm thinking of. Wow, that was on the main card. You know, we got, fucking, what's his name here? Julius Walker, the light heavyweight, arguably could have been middleweight. Taliesin Teixeira here. They look like 1-to-1, except a little shorter, I guess. And, Julius Walker looked like he was gassed 100% of the fight. So did Alonzo Metafield. I thought, honestly, you could have given the fight to either man. I think it's kind of fair to give it to Alonzo Metafield. It felt like he was landing better shots. Julius Walker kind of looked like he didn't take damage well. Even though there was times where I don't think he was actually wobbled, it was definitely like he looked like he was getting wobbled by strikes. You know, he never rolled with any punches. He was getting hit and was like backing up. Or he'd get body shot and he'd crunch down on the body shot, you know? And like, I'm sure it did hurt. But I don't think they were like, okay, next one finishes him, you know? And it definitely went that way as the fight went on. It was kind of a scrap. This looked like if you gave heavyweights 3 rounds of cardios, you know, in the unranked division. Not a bad fight, you know? Pretty good. For light heavyweight, though, clean it the fuck up, Alonzo Metafield. You're literally a ranked light heavyweight. What the fuck are we doing? We're gassing out. Well, not gassing out, but I guess getting fucking tired as shit within the first minute of the fight. What are we doing? You know? Anyways, Gene Silva versus Melsik Bogdasarian.
How does he keep clip farming like this in the UFC? How can someone consistently farm TikTok edits like this in the UFC?
Plot armor strikes again. Gene Silva is just really, really good. A lot of people are talking about how Bogdasarian's actually good, and this might be a tough test, and this, that, and the other. And I see that. You know, I definitely see that as like I guess I'm a casual because I've only been watching for 3 years, even though it's every single event. Melsik Bogdasarian is definitely, like, he definitely looked, like, not bad. You know, he was snappy, he was landing good. There's times where he was landing like really good, I think it was jabs, it might have been crosses. His head kicks were looking clean until he slipped. I'm pretty sure he slipped one time. But Gene Silva knocked him down and was basically like, it was a scene straight out of a movie. He was looking at him, pointing at him. Ref is like standing there like, oh no, you know? And then fucking Gene Silva just goes in, but he starts elbowing the fuck out of the body, and the ref is like, I've seen enough. It's over, you know? Like, and I get it, right? Like, he was landing very fast, and Bogdasarian wasn't fighting back, but even Bogdasarian was like, huh? You're not gonna finish me? You know? Like, this is the part where you win, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It felt very movie-like, you know? So, shout out Gene Silva, fighting nerd. You know, I was gonna say something about a woman, but, you know, I don't want this guy to fucking choke me out in public or fucking spinning wheel kick me to death if I ever see him. But, you know, just a compliment, you know? His girlfriend looks very nerdy, and I think that fits the gym's motto, you know? It's not meant to be as an insult, you know? She's got her proportions. They look pretty good. You know, that's all I'm saying. You know, anyways, you know, the glasses really fit her aesthetic, we'll say. But yeah, Gene Silva, badass. Still sick. Deserves a ranked opponent at this point, especially even after that Drew Dober fight. If he's going... He actually looked really small as a featherweight. It makes you really wonder, like, how the fuck did this guy whoop Drew Dober the way he did? Like, it's impressive as fuck. So, Gene Silva, he's already, like, good. You know what I mean? Like, he's already really, really good. And he cemented, like, oh, yeah, kids, I remember that fight. Man, I beat that guy's ass. But now it's looking like this guy might actually be a big problem in featherweight, you know? He's like he's what Yair striking should be. You know what I mean? He's like the fucking... He's got the speed of, or he's got the power of a Josh Emmett overhand right. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's good. You know? So, yeah, we move on to Rob Font. Gene Matsumoto got this one right. Did I sweep? No, I didn't sweep the fucking main event. I almost swept the main event, to be fair. But, yeah, we got Rob Font, Gene Matsumoto. This was a sick fight. It was a back and forth, very close. Wow, it was even on strikes, eh? I actually didn't know that. Significant strikes does make sense. Takedowns also make sense. Submission attempts. Really? Gene Matsumoto didn't get one? I felt like he got at least one. That rear naked, I felt like it was in at the end of, I want to say round 1, maybe round 2. Can't remember, but... No, a sick fight. It was a bloody war. Gene Matsumoto at the end was getting broken. What I will say is that, yes, it was a close fight. There's an argument for Gene Matsumoto. But I would say... It felt like at the end of round 3, Rob Font won that fight. It's not really necessarily Gene Matsumoto lost. Like, he was still throwing, but he was clearly getting tired. He was cut up. You could see him gassing a little bit. And Rob Font looked clean. He looked crisp. He looked like it was round 1, you know? And the strikings were very, very, very close. Gene Matsumoto had the better ground game, mainly because Rob Font kept pulling these dumb fucking submissions. Stop pulling guillotines. They don't work. Unless your opponent's Vitor fucking Petrino or Andre Fili, I guess. But, yeah, it's just... It's just a bad idea to pull guillotines and a bad idea to pull Kimuras and Americanas and shit in this high-level fights, especially against a guy with high-level ground game. I think Rob Font thought he could out-grapple a guy who looked like he could be exposed on the ground, because Gene's never really been crazy on the ground. I picked Rob Font in the description of my video after it got announced that this fight was going to happen, only because Rob Font is tough as shit, so I wasn't really worried about him getting KO'd, and Gene Matsumoto was taking this on short notice. I feel like Rob Font was just going to be more locked in, and Gene Matsumoto was going to fade as the fight went on. Kind of looked like that. I think round 1 and 3 are pretty clear for Rob Font, and yeah, it was a sick fight overall. Happy Rob Font won, happy I got the pick right, and yeah, I did put $5 on Rob Font to win, and what, alright? Anyways, yeah, I just kind of did it for fun. It's $5. It is what it is. Moving on, we have Brendan Allen versus Anthony Hernandez. I went with Anthony Hernandez for the exact reason of what happened in that fight. Brendan Allen, brain is made out of rocks. You know, watching Brendan Allen's career is almost like watching, like, a friend of yours, or just like a streamer or something, play through Dark Souls, you know? There's times where it's like, okay, the start of his career looks like absolute horse cock, right? Dog shit, looks like ass, you know, he's getting crushed by cans, you know. But you see him evolve, and there's certain boss fights he has where it's like, oh, he looked really clean in that Asylum Demon fight. He looked really clean in the Nito fight, you know. He looked really good in the Ornstein and Smoke fight, you know, but then he, like, runs into fucking Pinwheel, and he's struggling to fucking get to 50% of the HP bar. You know what I mean? Or he's fighting Vort of the Boreal Valley, and he's getting fucked, even though he runs through the Abyss Watchers. You know? It's like, holy shit, man. Like, clean it the fuck up, brother. Like, you were doing so good early on. How the fuck are you struggling with, like, these... Not easy, as in Anthony Hernandez is easy, but, like... This test isn't really as hard as a Mavov, you know? Like, I don't think Anthony Hernandez would actually beat a Mavov based off that performance. Because Anthony Hernandez is kind of just like a chunky welterweight. Especially by the belly fat we can see on him. You know, and Brendan Allen actually, like... This fight looked like a welterweight fight. Like, they both looked kind of skinny fat-ish. And they were both relatively, like, the same size, but they kind of looked small. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But people forget, man, Sean Strickland did TKO Brendan Allen. You know, it's just shit like that, where it's like, you know, Brendan Allen will just... Sometimes it's like he has a really good performance against the Abyss Watchers, and it's like, oh my god, he's dodge rolling at the perfect times. You know, he's hitting when he needs to hit. He's fucking staggering when he needs to stagger. Oh my god, he just started phase 2 without getting damaged, you know? It's looking really good. And then he gets to fucking the Cursed Rotted Greatwood, and he's just getting, like, fucked. Like, over and over again. You know? He can't even land a fucking hit on this guy. Or he's charging up his attack with, like, a Zweihander, getting ready to fucking hit him, and then the Cursed Rotted Greatwood moves out of the way, and he lands, it misses, and he's like, how the fuck did that miss? Brother, get your timing down, you know? Like, Anthony Hernandez did, like, wince at a few shots here and there, but by no means did it look like Anthony Hernandez was toughing it out, you know? Like, there's moments where you could have finished him, got free body shots off, landed jabs to the head, especially when he's wincing, closing his eye. Like, there's times where you land, even if he's faking that eye wince, because I think that's very Hernandez of him to do. He was getting elbowed in the first round, literally sticking out his tongue. Brother. You know? Little weird, you know? If that's your kink, hey, it's your kink, you know what I mean? But, yeah, Hernandez definitely isn't the cleaner fighter. He tried to win. Like, I don't know what else to really say. Brendan Allen, in the third round, was getting laid on, and he got, not body locked, I don't know what you would call it, but seatbelted, I think is the right term. And he's sitting there, like, complaining, like, verbally, and I'm assuming talking to his corner. Brother, do something. This is your career. Like, what the fuck are you complaining about? You put yourself there, dumbass. Pulling guard, pulling guillotines, you know, going for back when you're sloppy and sweaty. Like, what are you doing, man? Oh my god, you dog shit fighter, you know? And I know some people genuinely like Brendan Allen and genuinely think that he has the skill set to beat, like, Adesanya and a few others. Saw Guru say that. But, like, no, man. He suffers from, his brain is stuck in, like, the Kelvin Gastelum fucking Yoel Romero fucking era where all the fighters in middleweight were just brain dead dumb. You know? Like, they weren't making the right decision. The Marvin Vittoris of the division. That's what Brendan Allen might have a lower IQ than Marvin Vittori. That might be going far. You know, I might have crossed the line with that one. But, holy shit, man, bro. Clean it up, man. Like, fuck. Listen to your corner. It's insane to me that, like, you can make that many mistakes. It almost looked like on purpose. It's like that meme where the tree guardian or tree sentinel, whatever his name is fucking just Kai Cenat's walking in the fog wall, and he's just walking into a fucking guy cleaving down that fat fuck. Like, it's crazy to me. Anyways, moving on, main event. Henry Cejudo, Song Yadong. It's time. Alright, Henry, retire. Hang up the gloves. You ain't got it. You don't got the heart for the sport. We know it. Get the fuck out of the sport. You wasted your retirement. You're dog shit. And you know what kind of sucks? It's not even Henry is bad, right? He did arguably win one of those rounds. I thought he won round 2 against Song Yadong, mainly because of the more visible damage on the face. Even though Song did kind of like double his strikes. Henry's got a decent chin, you know? He got wobbled in the end of the third after the 5-minute break he had for an eye poke, where he was literally just sitting on the ground, smiling, looking up to the sky, looking around at the crowd, you know? Fucking wide-eyed. You can see fine, alright? You're not blinking, you're not wincing, you know, like, clean it the fuck up, you dog. Like, you just don't have the heart for fighting, I'm sorry. You know, Bisping would continue fighting with one eye, Sean Strickland had blood going in his eye, a fucking broken nose in the rematch with DDP, but he had blood going in his eye from a cut above his forehead, couldn't see out of the left side of his eye. Are they just gonna sit there on the stool and fucking quit at the end of the round? He literally said he can see fine out of the right side. Listen, I get it. It's like, oh, but it's risky for the fighter and shit. That's the point of fighting. If you don't have the heart for fighting anymore, quit. Like, you're not going to make it to the top. You're not going on this crazy run if, oh, a little bit of an eye poke is causing you this much duress. You know? And to be fair, yeah, Song Yadong did eye poke. However, let's be honest here. Henry Cejudo did dip his fucking head into the fingers of Song Yadong. Like, Song Yadong was definitely trying to grab the head, and it just went into the eyes. And you can tell Song Yadong got his social credit score fucking maxed out that night. Because right after the 5-minute break of the eye poke, he literally sticks his fingers out. And he's aura farming, like trying to PTSD max Henry Cejudo. Just fucking like, yeah, I'll eye poke you again, bitch. I don't care. You know, that was pretty funny. You know, but yeah, Song Yadong, he looked a little good. He looked good. He looked snappy and everything. Round 1, it looked like he had a cinder block as a head. Round 2, it looked a little bit clear that Henry Cejudo still had pop. But the problem with Henry is that he's 38 fucking years old. He doesn't have the pop to finish a young blood like Song Yadong. Even though he did cause a bloody nose and that cut on the cheek, he can cause damage. He's not finishing Song Yadong on the feet. And for all this chit-chat going on between Guru, Henry, and Kamaru about wrestling and all this other shit, he didn't shoot a fucking takedown. What do you expect? You lost all 3 rounds. I think he won 1 round on one of the judges' scorecards. But regardless, you lost the majority of the rounds. And we're probably going to lose like a 5-1 decision. You know? Where was that pop in the Aljo fight? Where was that pop in the Marab fight? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me. It's like the first 2 rounds, he was so hungry. And he's like, I can make this competitive. I can make a run. I can finish this guy on the feet. And then in the 3rd round, during that 5 minutes, he was like, man, I'm too old for this shit. I can't do it anymore. I can't fucking see, man. I can't. He's yelling at the top of his lungs so the camera can pick it up. He can't fucking see. I can't wait to see the cope online for Henry Cejudo. Man, he is the cringe king. That is the cringiest thing I think he's ever done. You know? Demetrius Win. That's not going to age well anymore. A lot of people are probably going to call that out for being a robbery. I personally think Mighty Mouse won that fight, but, you know, scorecards say otherwise. But, yeah, it's just, man, it's sad. It's so sad. It's literally like Henry was looking good. He was making it competitive, you know? And Song he wasn't slowing down, but he was, you know, being a lot more patient, heating up a lot more in round 2. But he was still getting, like, he was getting tagged, he was getting hit, you know what I mean? And Henry had a good chin, but it's like, man, fuck. Like, that's how you're gonna let your retirement fight go? Like, God, you just don't have the heart for fighting anymore. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to get. A little bit of a rant at the end there. Good card overall. Fucking garbage main event. Actually, it was a good main event until they were like, oh, let's go to the judges' scorecards. Really weird situation going on there. It took a while, but they got to the judges' scorecards midway through round 3. Or I guess the end of round 3, beginning of round 4 type situation. But Song Yadong won clear, in my opinion. Song Yadong, I think, does have gaps in his game, but he is very composed, and he does clean it up as stuff goes on, you know? And he's not afraid to, like, swing and bang, you know? Like, I think O'Malley probably puts away Cejudo in 1. I think O'Malley could get into a scrap with Song Yadong, and it could be like a 29-28 or like a 48-47 situation in a 5-round main event. That could be a sick fight. Song Yadong versus Henry Cejudo versus Sean O'Malley. That could be a sick fight, to be honest with you. If Sean O'Malley comes off another loss against Peter Yan in a rematch, stuff like that, you know. Song Yadong's put himself back in the little fucking, what do you call it? He's put his name back in the hat. We'll see what happens, but yeah. That's been my breakdown of UFC Seattle, Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. Great card. I went 6-5 overall. I probably am going to put the record down in the bottom right now at the time of 31:30 seconds. Saying that out loud so I remind myself, but I'm putting it down there. I'm keeping track of all my records for all the cards, and I'll continue doing breakdown videos even if only one other person watches it. Because you know what? I got passion for the sport. That's all that matters to me. You know? At the end of the day, it's night. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you have a good day.